Guys, Auburn has just fired Hugh Freeze. It adds another fray into the crazy coaching carousel that we're seeing right now. LSU is open. Florida is open. Penn State is open. Arkansas is open. And now Auburn is open. This cycle, Blaine Crain, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, it is absolutely crazy. We were literally just talking about breaking down why Auburn lost to Kentucky. We thought this might happen, but it has now happened. Blaine, just instant reaction. This is the right move from Auburn.
It's
They
been the
should have
right
moved
move.
past Hugh Freeze. Look, you're either a loser or a winner. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, and I actually applaud Auburn for doing this.
No, yeah, it's been the right move. It's been the right move before the year started when you brought Peyton Thorne back. I've been saying that move. You signed Jackson Arnold, a quarterback got benched by his fourth game. I
Yeah.
said you might as well just go ahead and play Deuce Knight. That's the only chance you got. And now we're sitting here. I'm done with the Hugh Freeze talk. It's over with. If it's gone. Auburn has to move to the next step. The next step is what? Who's going to be the interim head coach for Auburn? You would think it'd be DJ Durkin, right? DJ just going to slide in that spot from the defensive side. He's going to be the interim. Who would be Auburn's number one choice to coach their football team? Obviously, it'd be Lane Kiffin. You're not getting him, right? That's not happening, right? What would be next? Probably John Summerall. If it's me, I'm calling Jeff Brom from Louisville to come in and fix things, right? I am. And he's a hard ass. He's a hard ass on his quarterbacks. He's a physically coached team. And I think he'd be a really good fit. But there's not a huge barrel of coaches just sitting there waiting to get hired right now with the amount of vacancies that we have in college football.
Yeah. David, strategy is going to be the thing that's talked about the most here because of the openings we have, the prominence of the openings that we have in college football. If you're Auburn and you feel like maybe you're third, maybe fourth in that pecking order, is it better to move fast? Or, obviously you've got to name an interim. Are you going to wait this thing out and see how the chips fall? If it's me, I'm trying to move fast.
Yeah, I would move quickly. I mean, we're hearing rumors that Virginia Tech might lock down James Franklin, which, let's be honest, would be a good hire for Virginia Tech at this moment because they moved quickly in the middle of the season like that, as did Penn State. A move makes sense here. Blaine, you said it earlier. You tried it and it didn't work, right? Like, that's just, at the end of the day, that's what we're dealing with here. From an outsider's perspective, you can't miss on the next coach because it ended badly with Gus Malzahn. Brian Harsin was a bust. Hugh Freeze now hasn't worked. Like, at some point, it's Auburn, and it's not going to be like the next coach. Like, you can't get this one wrong, in my opinion, and be at the bottom of the barrel in the SEC.
No,
I'm serious when I say this.
ahead,
Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me hire the next coach because obviously the people do not know what they're doing in Auburn when they look. They just don't. I mean, Harsin to Gus Malzahn. To Hugh Freeze, you're almost trying to find failure at this point. Look, I might only be 31, but I promise you,
well, I disagree with that. Like, what said that Hugh Freeze was going to be a massive failure at Auburn?
See,
well, what said that he'd been a huge success at Auburn?
Well,
I'm watching Brian Kelly, the winningest coach in Notre Dame history, go to LSU, and he's fired 8 games in, and they got a winning record.
Well, hell, I would love.
We can't just pretend like beforehand we knew that somebody was going to be a massive failure.
No, and
like,
again,
it's been shocking. I have no idea why they're bad at offense and why he can't identify talent at the quarterback position when he's done it his entire career. If he hadn't done that for the last 10 years, and you're like, he's always had bad quarterbacks. How'd he get the Auburn job? That would make sense to me.
Yeah, and look, sometimes time just passes guys by. I mean, you saw what happened with Gus. You see what happens with Hugh. We see it all the time happen to people. You look at Dabo Sweeney, other people like that. To Blaine's point, though, again, it's hard to sit here and check off a box and say we need this type of guy to be the head coach. And it's somebody that, back to you, Freeze, in a cycle that now that we look back on was super weak. It's tough. It is tough. But, at this point, if you're Auburn, I want to talk about candidates. I'm sick of looking at the past, sick of looking at what could have been. You're going to lose a lot of guys on this roster. That's part of it when you have a coaching change, at least the majority of the time nowadays in college athletics. But if you're Auburn, and look, I know Tulane just lost, but I don't know how you don't give John Summerall a run. I don't know how you don't call Clark Lee. There's some really good candidates out there. I think that if you were to lock down early in a game where everybody's going to be vying for Lane Kiffin, Blaine, maybe you can find a guy that actually works out for you. But what archetype, what type of coach do you think Auburn needs to hire?
I just want a winner. I just want a winner. right? That's what I want. Okay, I think a lot of it. I think John Summerall, even with Tulane's loss, I think that what he preaches in his message. Look, I'm calling Gruden. I don't care. I am calling John Gruden and see if he'll take the Auburn job. I am calling Golish from South Florida. I think he'd be a great fit at Auburn. What he's doing at South Florida. It's just you're going to run out. You're going to run out of candidates. Like you really are. I mean, you're not getting Lane Kiffin. You're not getting James Franklin. Clark Lee, maybe. Hell, I don't even know if the Auburn job's better than the Vandy job right now, to be honest. So look, it's going to be slim pickings, and there's bigger dogs out on the yard than you right now.
There are just no guarantees in this game. There are no guarantees. No. And look at the dichotomy between two great open jobs right now, Florida and LSU. Florida hired the best available Group of 5 coach at that time. I mean, Billy Napier was balling, okay, just like John Summerall is right now. And he earned the moniker G5 Billy as soon as he got there, and has had nothing but losing seasons. And people have made fun of him in Florida for that. LSU, on the other hand, goes and hires the winningest coach in Notre Dame history. You'd have to assume there's at least a floor there, even if the ceiling isn't national championships. Like if Brian Kelly never won a national championship at LSU, but continued to have 10-win seasons, you'd be like, well, yeah, that makes sense. He never won a natty at Notre Dame. But for the floor to be this low is what's been surprising. So there's just no guarantees no matter what type of archetype you go get.
No, and that's why it's so hard, and that's why it's so you're basically trying to predict the future. But I do think when it comes down to evaluating, looking at fit, looking at the type of individual, looking at the age of the individual, again, not saying that old guys can't win or stuff like that. It just feels like at Auburn, at the end of the Gus era, he gets let go. You bring in Brian Harsin, that doesn't work. You bring in Hugh Freeze, that doesn't work. It's just like, what is, do you have to make a drastic change in the way you go about things?
Which would be what, like having a general manager? Because that's what a lot of programs are going
to. But again, like
or is that just more bureaucracy?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's about having more guys that make the decision. I think it's about having the right guy that makes the decision. I'm just not somebody that thinks if we have 3 different boards and a field of people to come together and make this decision, like that's a guarantee it's going to work. And I don't want to say it's like a Moneyball situation where it's just some one guy you're taking a chance on with some theory, but it's just reading the room. And I do think, when it comes down to it, and I've said this multiple times, I don't think you eliminate boxes. I don't think you say, oh, we're not going to hire a Group of 5 guy, or, oh, we're not going to hire a guy that's already a Power 4 guy, or, oh, we're not going to hire an NFL guy. I think you try and hire just the best guy, whatever your gut tells you for the place that you're at. But the question then becomes, do you need somebody that is from this place, talking about Auburn, that is from this area, to be able to vet people that could possibly work? That's the biggest question to me when it comes down to individuals, when we're talking about choosing is going to get the job. Or is it just, hey, we just got to interview guys and go with our gut regardless of where they're from? That's the biggest question.
Yeah, I think you interview guys and just go with your gut, to be honest. I will say this, a name that probably doesn't get mentioned a lot.
Let me guess.
Guess, David.
Brent Key.
Yeah. I just don't know if – I like Brent a lot, to be honest. Did they lose NC State?
I think they lost.
No.
Yeah, well, like, again, though, I don't think one game defines it. I don't think what happened to Tulane against UTSA defines John Summerall. I actually think it hurts these guys when they're getting brought up about other jobs because you're dealing with human beings.
I'm trying to think of the right word. Like, what route do you want to go from a velocity standpoint of a head coach? Do you want a defensive guy? Right, you want to get a defensive guy.
I just think you get the best guy, whether he's a defensive guy, an offensive guy, a special teams guy, a CEO guy, like just whatever you feel like is the because your ass is on the line. Like sleeper, this is
my sleeper coach right now. I'm gonna get both your thoughts on this. Would probably be Eric Morris in North Texas.
I just don't. I mean.
Why not?
Yeah, well,
why not?
If you're gonna swing for the fences, like if that's, I don't know. I think they would lean more toward a proven guy. Like I don't. Again, who knows? But I I feel
I
like
mean, look, you
lean
say what you
toward,
want,
at
but
least
I mean,
at
he's
first,
proving it right at
lean
North,
toward
right
more
now at
proven
North
guy.
Texas, and the quarterbacks he coached at Washington State. I mean, go through the quarterbacks this guy has coached at college. It is insane. Look, and I know we brought Hugh Freeze in. He's supposed to be a quarterback guy. I realize that, but trust me, I've watched North Texas play a lot of football this year. And one, not only do you get him, but guess who's probably going to come with him? Right, the quarterback they have right now, who's an absolute dog.
Here's another thing. How much do these 3 consecutive firings with buyouts, how much is that going to impact how much money they have to pay the next guy?
Well,
And then how short of a leash is that guy going to have if he has 2 losing seasons in a row?
Well, again, like it's not like it's a $50 million buyout. It's like, I think what, 16, 17 million, something like that. And again, I would love $16 million. I'm not saying that's a low amount of money. But I don't think it's as egregious as,
But it's
look,
like
Auburn
3 guys
has
in a
money.
row now, right? That is,
Yeah,
and then
but,
that does get to 50.
Auburn has money. Like that, a lot of people don't realize that Auburn has money. It's just, stuff's going real good with basketball. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going into, again, and to your point, David, it hasn't worked a couple times in a row. So it's not like it's a safe investment from people. I don't know. I feel like Auburn, if they needed to scrum up the money to go get the guy, they could do it. I think they have enough money for it to be attractive. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but it's just like.
So right now, the estimated buyout for all 3 coaches, I mean, you're looking at probably close to $50 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, if you can't, you look at some of these other schools, if you're just taking a 50 mil hit, that's nothing compared to what some of these other schools are taking. I mean, look at LSU. Look at
But
Penn
the question
State.
remains, like, does that impact how much money you can pay the next guy?
I don't think it does. If Hugh
Okay.
Freeze's buyout was $40 million, yeah. I don't think with his buyout it does, though. I don't. Not when compared to others. I don't. But it's going to be interesting to see.
But you can't go offer Nick Saban 3 years for 75 mil.
Look, if he would say yes, I
Look,
feel like
25 a year.
Nick, I'll do it.
Let me go see how much I
want.
got. Let me go see how much I got. I can throw to the call.
But that's a serious consideration. I mean, Auburn now, I mean, there's already, I don't want to say 2 more attractive jobs open, but like if you're a head coach in LSU and you're going up against LSU and Auburn, like LSU and Auburn or Florida and Auburn, like those are 2 really good jobs.
Yeah, they're better jobs than Auburn. I'll say that.
And it's wild to say when you see like the at-home environment of Auburn.
Yeah.
And being a part of one of the greatest rivalries in the sport in the Iron Bowl. Like, to me, Auburn just deserves better than what they're getting right now.
No, they do, and that's why I
pay me $3 million, I'll do it.
Yeah, look, you can
You said they need a proven winner.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I win.
Not a handsome mustache.
Hey,
Yeah,
I win.
not a guy with a mustache and blonde hair.
Maybe that's what we need.
The 3 of us.
Well, let us know in the comments what you think. Make sure you're subscribed.
Wild times. 10-3.
Wow.
Wow.
Disgusting. Make sure you're locked into Crain Company. We appreciate y'all.